Greetings and blessings, everyone. Welcome to a new channeling with Alsharon. And today's topic is apparently on spiritual courage. We're a couple of minutes early, so we'll just give an opportunity for people to come in. And it's a beautiful sunny day here in Cairns, Australia. So, let's see. Hello, Tien. Nice to see you. Hello, Sandra. Should be a powerful channeling today. Hello, young James. This is going to be a continuing thing. We're going to do it probably once a fortnight on Sunday. And it'll be every fortnight. Generally, I do things according to Spirit. So when Spirit says we want to do this or we want to do that, I'm like, yep, no problem. So they have a plan, and I'm just the human telephone, shall we say. So as you may notice in the title, this is being presented by the House of Armais. House of Armais is, in essence, a spiritual school that I run. And we have 2 sessions a week. One is on development, spiritual development, questions and answers, so everyone can ask whatever questions they have. And then one session each week is a live channeling. Hello, Heather. Hello, Fee. And now I do want to mention as well that anyone who gets this service from me, so it can be a personal channeling session, a Blue Star healing session, a mentoring or coaching session, anything like that, between now and the 15th of December, will go in the draw for a free personal channeling session. And the winner for our last contest was Wendy Howe. And that was a very powerful session that we had. So if you want to be included in the contest and you need some assistance, you can do house clearings, healings, whatever is required. Just let me know. You can email me on either bluestarspiritualgroup@gmail.com or on James Armais, which is ARMAIS @gmail.com, and let me know. Also, if you are looking for a gift for someone, feel free to contact me on giving a gift certificate. It can be for a personal channeling session, a healing, house clearing, whatever it is that you want. And we can organize that and make really great gifts. Thank you for asking, Heather. Janice is back. My wife, Janice, was very, very ill yesterday, doing a massive clearing, shall we say. She's feeling heaps better. She actually slept from about 9 o'clock until just after 6 this morning without waking once, which is unusual for her. her back's a little bit sore, but I do appreciate the healing that you guys sent, and so thank you very much. I will do so, Wendy. Thank you very much. This is about a new beginning, shall we say. When you look on what's going on the planet, you can see that there is a tremendous amount happening, and a lot of it is very hidden at the moment in some respects, and many other things are no longer being hidden from people. So Alsharon came back to me a while ago. He had been gone for some time. Oh, it'd be great to see you, young James. Just let me know when. And when he came back with a vengeance, and just we're gonna do different topics and things like that. And the first one, of course, was on the narrow path. And I believe that channeling may be on the YouTube channel. He wanted me to switch it over from doing it on Facebook to doing it here on the YouTube channel. So I have done that. Normally, he gives me what the topic is going to be. This week's topic, of course, is on spiritual courage. Now, I'm just the human telephone. So here's a rule for you. I don't say this every time, but listen up. I do everything in my power to be as clear of a channel as possible. I don't get in the way whatsoever. Whatever they say is on them. No idea. Generally, when I finish channeling, whether it's a personal channeling session or a public channeling like this, I have no memory of what's been said or what the conversation is, except for little snippets. Now, generally, Alsharon will allow for questions. Take advantage of that. But it's your job. Your job is a very simple job. Your job is to discern. Does the information presented resonate or not? Now, there's no judgment either way. If it resonates, explore it, experience it, see where it leads you. If it does not, throw it away or put it on a shelf and don't worry about it. If it is something that you require later on, it will come back around. Now, having said all that, it is a Sunday morning, so we will go ahead and get started, and other people I'm sure will come in as we go along. So by the way, young James, do you mean today? Thank you, T. Shoneta. Greetings and blessings to each and every one of you. I am Alsharon of the Great Central Sun. Today I wish to speak to you about something that is very important, but that it has a tendency to be overlooked somewhat. And this topic is on spiritual courage. Now, what exactly is spiritual courage? For a long period of time, we have spoken about trust and faith in yourself for yourself. Follow your heart and guidance, trust your intuition, discernment, things of this nature. Spiritual courage comes from a place that is deep within the heart. You see, within the heart center resides within every person on this planet. So that's every individual who's part of the humanity of Earth, as well as every star seed. There is a divine spark within their heart center. And within the divine spark resides a small piece of source. So the reason that we say follow your heart and guidance is because you are connecting in with that source energy that is within the heart. This sustains you, this provides to you the energy and the means to ensure that you walk the path that you're here to walk. It is very disconcerting to see a starseed cross over and then have the realization that some of the things that they were meant to do, they ended up not doing because of things like fear and things of that nature. And there's a saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. But in order to do that, in order to have the courage to do that, you have to have that spiritual courage. Now, where that spiritual courage resides is in your belief in self. So you discern something and it resonates, you know it resonates, but there's fear and trepidation on doing it because perhaps you don't know what the outcome is going to be. You don't know how things are going to play out, or you are concerned for whatever reason on the opinions of others. Or perhaps it's a situation where you're feeling and you discerned, and say, as an example, you know you need to move from one city to another city. But the city in which you are currently living, your family lives there. And although you know that you're meant to move, you are hesitant because, number one, you don't know what the outcome will be. You don't know what will happen in this new city. But at the same time, you don't know how your family will react. You don't know if they're going to be angry or frustrated with you because you've made a decision to move away from where the family lives. There's all of these things, but the spiritual courage steps in when you say, you know what, I'm going to do this anyway because I feel very strongly about doing this and it resonates. I've discerned, and this is what I need to do for me. You see, what you have to understand is this. There is a big focus on this planet about doing things for other people. People will be praised with the thought of like, well, so-and-so is a phenomenal individual because they do nothing for themselves and they do everything for everybody else. And in truth, that is someone who lives their life in fear because they are willing to give to others, which is always a wonderful thing. But they do nothing for themselves. They don't look after themselves. You see, in order to truly love another individual, another person, one must first love themselves. In order to truly look after or care for another person, one must first truly look after and care for themselves. It's a reflective mirror, if you will. Because the bottom line is that many people who are in service to others do so because they feel that this is the way that it is supposed to be. Look at light workers as an example. Now, I love light workers. The star seeds are wonderful beings. Many of them come from many different worlds that are very dedicated in the service of life and source and things like this. But you speak to a light worker, and invariably they have one thought on their mind: to be of service to others, to help others. But many times the problem is that they do this at a detriment to themselves. Spiritual courage is about recognizing the importance that everything starts at home. There is a famous song on this planet called Man in the Mirror, and it all starts with you. So you have to look after yourself. You have to have the courage to follow your own path and to follow your discernment, your heart, your intuition. You have to have the courage to be honest enough with yourself to get out of your own way long enough to discern something. And you have to sometimes put aside previous experiences, previous interactions, shall we say. There are those that will have had very intense experiences with their family or with a partner, a former partner, or with people. And then they are presented with an opportunity and they don't know what the outcome will be. And many times they won't do it because they can't keep that control. They can't know what the outcome is going to be. This is where the trust and faith comes in. It's like, are you going to have enough courage to back yourself, to back your own discernment, to back your own intuition, your own heart and guidance, to walk your path and to do the things that resonates deep within, or not? Now you have to understand, if you choose no, it doesn't mean that Spirit's going to go, oh well, I'm going to walk away from you now because you refuse to follow your heart. See, that doesn't happen because we don't, on the side of Spirit, we do not judge you. We do not criticize you. We don't place blame upon you. You have to be willing to make the choice. If something important comes around and you choose against it, one way or another, that opportunity will come back around again and again and again. You see, we are very focused on assisting you to walk the path you have chosen to walk here. You see, one thing you need to understand very clearly is, as a starseed, when you incarnate on this planet, both of these things are true. You have complete free will choice, and you don't have complete free will choice. Now, how can both statements be true at the same time? The reason that they are both true at the same time is because before you incarnated into this incarnation, there are things that you agreed to, there are things that you chose. So in essence, you have the complete free will choice. It's just there are certain things that you already chose before you incarnated. So perhaps you chose who you're going to marry, how long the relationship would last, how many children you would have, things of this nature. And then you'd have children that would come to you, or souls that would come to you and say, look, my guides say that because you've chosen X, Y, and Z, it would really, really benefit me tremendously if you were my mother or my father in this next incarnation. And so an agreement might be made between that soul and you to bring them in. Everything is done by agreement, because this planet is complete free will choice. But you see, as a starseed, you incarnated here, and it is true, you incarnated here to be of service to this project, to be of service to Source, to this universe. But the bottom line is that if you are trying to be of service to other people at the detriment of yourself, this is not acceptable for anyone, because at the end of the day, you are here as a living example. You can do more showing how you treat yourself, how you act towards yourself as well as towards other people, than just going, I'm going to be of service to other people and ignore myself and avoid myself. Many times when people are so focused on being of service to others and ignoring themselves, that's because they're afraid to look within. They're afraid to do the work for themselves. So you see, you have to also understand there is a desire amongst many starseeds and light workers that they feel that in order to be really spiritual, they have to only do spiritual work, whether it's doing readings or healings or whatever the case may be. But the bottom line is that those with true spiritual courage, not everyone, of course, but many who have that true spiritual courage are the ones who work in the mainstream and live literally every day as a living example in their interactions, in the work environment, in the mainstream environment, because at the end of the day, being of service to starseeds, they do need assistance at times, but remember, they are also starseeds. The people who really need that example, that living example, resides within the mainstream. These are the people who is the humanity of Earth. These are the people who are actually in school of evolution and eventual ascension. There is still many who think that it's the starseeds who are here to ascend. You aren't here to ascend because you are already ascended. Technically speaking, there is much talk of the ascended masters. And there are certain ones who are ascended masters who have been on this planet from a very long time ago. But in truth, every starseed that is on this planet, you either come from the fifth or sixth dimension. And what this means is every starseed that is on this planet can be classified honestly as an ascended master, because that is exactly what you are. Because you look at a starseed who came from Sirius or the Pleiades or Lyra or Alpha Centauri or wherever they came from. They have come from a world that is either in the fifth or sixth dimension that has already gone through the evolutionary process and ascension on their own home world. So you are technically already an ascended master. What we are saying is that you should start living as that ascended master in your choices, in your interactions. You have to speak from your heart. You don't judge others, you don't criticize others, you allow others the freedom of their path, because at the end of the day, let's be honest here, not one of you knows all the things you've chosen for your incarnation. Therefore, there's no way you can know what somebody else has chosen for their incarnation, what the experiences that they have chosen to have, the interactions that they've chosen to experience, the individuals that they have chosen to interact with and meet and assist or be assisted by. There is so much that is unknown, and is unknown for a reason. If you knew all of the experiences that you were meant to have, and we do understand that there is a natural curiosity when you are in the physical human form. We understand that. However, if you knew everything that was going to happen, it would completely ruin everything that is meant to happen, because you would end up interfering with these experiences, with these interactions. Spiritual courage is to say, I'm going to follow my path wherever it may lead, no matter what. Spiritual courage is about backing yourself even when others are trying to convince you otherwise. Spiritual courage is about living your truth unapologetically. You also have to understand very clearly you're not going to get along with everybody. You're not going to be friends with everybody. However, that doesn't mean that you don't have love for everybody. The greatest power in the universe is love. Love is the greatest power in the universe. And so if you want to hold, to experience, and to imbibe that greatest power in the universe, it starts with only one place, having love of self. And you have to love yourself enough not to criticize yourself, not to judge yourself, not to think, well, you have to own who you are, own your choices. Not every choice you make is going to work out. Not every choice you're going to make is going to be perfect. It will be perfect, don't get me wrong, but it may not appear that way. There are no mistakes. And in the world of spirit, there are no mistakes. There are experiences, there is a path you walk, but you also have to have that trust and faith that what you need to experience, the people that you are meant to meet, will happen. You have to do something that is so against the very nature of a human being. because even as a star seed, you're in a human form, and so you are affected by the same traits as anyone else in a human form. So that's why you have your curiosity, things like this. But you have to be willing to love yourself enough to back yourself, to walk your path, and to realize and understand that there is no ultimate right or wrong answer. There is the answer that resonates with you and the answer that does not. And generally, it's easier to go with what resonates when you make your choice out of love. Because there's another choice. Make your choice out of love or make your choice out of fear. Invariably, when you make your choice out of fear, it will alter your path. But if it alters your path, there are always ways of spirit moving through that to ensure that at some point you will be back on the path that is meant for you. There are always alternatives, shall we say. Now, I am going to open the door for questions. If anyone has a question, please type it in. This is about taking the step of living your truth. You see, if you look in true reality on this world, and you look at, say, religions, cultures, you would look and you go, well, they have this creation story, and they have that creation story, and they have this creation story, but they're not the same. And as star seeds, the worlds you come from have their own creation story, their own truths, their own ways of doing things. And so that is very important to remember, that in order to live your truth, it's only achieved in one way: having the spiritual courage to follow your own heart. T, yes, you've had a great deal of an issue of a lack of self-belief. You've had a real issue with not putting yourself first. And it is important to put yourself out of your comfort zone, because it gives you an opportunity to not only experience other things, but it will also give you the opportunity for spirit to open other doorways for you. You see, sometimes you have to choose something and do something in order for something else to happen. Spirit is always watching everything. Is there anything, Fee, is there anything I need to be aware of to help me on my path in the journey ahead for the next 2 years? Yes, there is. Number one, not only do you need to focus on having that spiritual courage to back yourself, but you also need to understand that you need to own your truth, your knowledge and awareness. There will be those who will try and bring you down, shall we say, and you need to be willing to stand in your truth and stand in your power and divinity That's very important. Trust yourself. Deb, I did not understand your question. If you could retype that, I would appreciate it. Feel free to ask a question, everyone. It took a great deal for me to convince him to allow me to take questions. So Deb, the best thing you can do is trust yourself. There is a tendency for you to kind of project, if you will, that things should go in a particular way. And what would serve you the most is to really be open to whatever may come and just flow with it and have that trust and faith. Charlotte, what I'm being told is that you are doing not bad, but that you need to be more proactive in doing your assignment. But you are doing well. Oh, and the other part of the message for you is the assignment is for another 2 weeks. Wendy, currently what is currently happening for you is for you to step back and for you to clear. You've taken on energy from other people and you try to interject particular energies, some of which have not been very well received or accepted, not in an outward way. So it's very important that you just be kind to yourself today and look after yourself. That is most important. Fee, it's always challenging when one is moving more towards alignment with self. Blessings to you, Heather. Can you be more clear upon your question, Joanne? Young James, you ask a question that technically you know the answer to, but you do not know but you do not want to see that. You are avoiding certain things on a personal level out of fear. Perhaps it is something that you should look at from a different perspective. Yes, Charlotte, you do need to bring more joy into your life. Joanne, you need to focus more and more on making decisions from your heart. You have gone through some very intense things recently, and it creates doubt within. And sometimes this is when it's important to step back and reassess internally from within the heart, and then start really focusing on your discernment to really move more fully into alignment with what your discernment and your heart is saying. Heather, you need to be more proactive in choosing self, but in also in following your discernment, because you have a tendency at times to not back yourself. That's what today's message on spiritual courage is all about, is backing yourself to follow your heart and guidance and your discernment. Love, put more love into your life, Heather, for yourself. Sandra, you need to trust your inner guidance more. You already can feel and listen to your inner guidance. You need to trust it more, which will happen. It takes patience and it takes practice. When one has spent so much time not trusting themselves, not trusting who they are, it becomes very easy to ignore, to make choices with the head instead of the heart, to not back oneself, to allow distractions of trying to understand other things. So the more you focus on self, the more you focus on having love for self and following the heart, following your guidance, trusting your intuition, and really following your discernment and what resonates. It does not mean that life is going to magically be perfect, that you won't have obstacles, that you won't have challenges. It doesn't even mean that you won't have, say, bad interactions with other people. It will mean that you will be on your path. Remember, the greatest power in the world is love. Any other questions? Then we will close this session. I give you my love, my blessings, and please remember, every single one of us, not just myself, but every one of your guides and all the others of spirit who are here to assist you, and there's a great deal more than you may realize or understand. We are here to assist you and are assisting you in every moment of every day. And instead of saying you can have trust and faith in that, I will say you can take that to the bank. thank you very much to all of you for coming today. Do me a favor, if you would. Once this is complete, pass it on to whoever you may feel may benefit from it. My hope is to let this grow and organically and be a real place of healing and awareness and teaching for as many people as possible. That's what I'm being pushed to do. So, something that I am working on. So, much love to all of you. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday or Saturday for those in the UK. Please know that from everyone here at the House of Armais and Blue Star Spiritual, we send you blessings. We will be doing this in another 2 weeks. It may get delayed a little bit because we're going to have to go down to Townsville on a trip fairly soon, but I'm just not sure when that's going to be. But whenever it happens, we will organize for this live channeling with Alsharon, because that's going to be at least every other week or every week, ongoing, as long as Alsharon wants to do it. So much love to everyone. And remember, for anyone who gets a service from me by the 15th of December, we'll be in the running to get a free personal channeling session. We will do the draw on the 15th. Like I said, our last winner was Wendy Howe. So just let us know and how we can be of service. Yes, sleep for you, Fee. So much love to all of you. Tonyeta.